last lesson, the lesson 6 entitled Introduction to Criminalistic and Criminal Investigation. First is the criminalistics. What is criminalistics? Criminalistic or forensic science is the application of criminalistic sciences in the field of law enforcement. It's also a subfield in criminology that deals with the study of criminal things. So what is criminal things? Criminal things is those that are left behind by the criminal perpetrator in the scene of the crime which have significance in criminal investigation. The difference between criminalistic and criminology. When we say criminalistic, it is the study of physical evidence through a laboratory work. But when we say criminology, it is the study of the causes of crime and or criminal people. Here are the division of criminalistic. First is the scientific division, which have category, the chemistry, physics, and biology. The next is the technological division, which the categories are fingerprinting or forensic dactyloscopy. The second is the forensic photography. Third is question document examination. Fourth is the polygraphy or the lie detection. Fifth is the forensic medicine, and the last is the forensic ballistics. So, we should know also the fingerprinting, which is the personal identification. Is one that universally accepted means of personal identification through the study of fingerprints. Here are the indeed valuable of fingerprints. First is the criminal investigation, proving a suspect identity and criminal record, proving an identified dead person identity, and finding a wanted and missing person. So here are the fingerprint patterns. First is the ulnar loop, which is towards the little finger or ulna bone of the hand origin. The radial loop is the towards the thumb or the radius bone on the hand of the origin. The third is the plain arc. Plain arc is without a delta core or recurving ridge, and the last is the tented arc, which pattern similar to a loop but lacking one or two of essential elements, and plain whorl, which two deltas in which at least one ridge makes a turn through one complete circuit. The next is the central pocket loop whorl, which may be oval, spiral, circular, or any variant of a circle. Then is the double loop whorl, consisting of two separate and distinct loop formation, two set of shoulders, and two details. The loop necessarily do not have to be the same length of the size. And the last is the accidental whorl. It is a type of fingerprint which is combination of two or more different types with the exception of the plain, arc, or a pattern which have some the basic element of two or more types, or a pattern which does not have conform to the 7 other types. Here are the doctrine of fingerprinting. First is the infallible, will not never make a mistake. And the second one is the perennial, conclusive, and permanent. And the last one is the immutable, which is unchangeable. Forensic photography. Police photography is most obviously useful in police work when photograph serves as evidence that can and often does prove facts. Produce gallery or the bag file. It is preferred album of the identification of the common criminals and offenders in the Philippines. Ito yung picture ng mga kriminal. What is the significance of photography in police work? It is a factual and accurate record of the crime because it captures time, space, and place in a single series of shots. Here are the use of photography in police work. Identification files, communication and microfilm files, evidence, offender detection, court exhibits, reproduction of copying, personal training, crime and fire prevention, and the public relations. Here are also the 4 primary ways of using photography in police work. First is as means of identification, as a method of discovering, recording, and preserving evidence, as a way to present in the courtroom of the pertinent elements of crime, and as a training and public relation medium for police programs. Accident investigation. Here is the time impression. In most vehicular accidents, photograph of the tire impression will suffice and casting will no longer required. And any skid marks should be photographed to show the direction the vehicle was traveling, slide on the show their length. And the hit and run. In vehicular versus pedestrian case, a photograph of the trial of the pedestrian on the blood on the tread marks will not only establish the direction the hit in the run vehicle is traveling, but also makes the trend pattern more conspicuous and identifiable. But when in crimes against person, here are the homicide, suicide, assault, and rape. On crime against property, the fire and arson. But what is the question document? It is one in which facts appearing are not true and constant either in whole or in part with respect to its authenticity, identity, or origin. Next, what is document? Document is every deed or instrument executed by a person by which some disposition or agreement is proved, evidence, or set forth. Here are the kinds of document: the public document, official document, private document, and commercial documents. Is the polygraphy or the lie detection. Polygraphy is the scientific method of detecting deception with the use of polygraph instrument. It is the new name of lie detection. What is the polygraph instrument? It is a scientific diagnostic instrument used to record physiological changes in the blood pressure, pulse rate, respiration, and skin resistance. Polygraph, in Greek, which means many right things, and the other name is truth verifier. Next one is the forensic or legal medicine. It's a branch of medicine which deals with the application of medical knowledge to the purpose of law and in the administration of justice. Of the medical evidence is real evidence and testimonial evidence. Physician may be presented in court as ordinary witness, expert witness, documentary evidence, experimental evidence, and physical evidence. But in physical evidence, which include corpus delicti evidence, associative evidence, and the tracing evidence. Next, the forensic ballistics. Ballistics is defined as the science and motion of projectiles. Motion refers to the movement of mobility, and projectile refers to the metallic or non-metallic objects propelled from a firearm. It also refers to science of firearm investigation. Is derived from the Greek word balu or balein, which means literally to throw. Ballistics also been derived from the name of the early Roman war machine called ballista. Ballista is a gigantic bow of catapult which was then used to throw missiles or large objects at a distance like stones against enemy forces. The firearm identification. Firearm identification deals with the study of comparison and identification of weapons. It involves examination of ballistic exhibits such as fired bullets, shells, firearms, and other related matters which have been used in crimes. Here are the branches of ballistic. The interior or internal ballistics. Ito yung inside the gun. The next is the exterior or external ballistics. It's a branch of the science which has something to do with the attributes and movements of the bullet after it has left to the gun muscles. It involves the following: muscle blast, muscle energy, trajectory, range, principles involved in firearm identification are the bullet identification. No two barrels are micro-specifically alike or identical as the internal surface of the bore or barrels. All possess individual and characteristic marking of their own. Next, when a bullet is fired from the rifle gun barrel, it becomes engraved by the rifling, and then engravings will vary in its minute details with every individual firearm. Every barrel leaves in thumb mark or fingerprint on every bullet fired on it. The last is the shell identification. The breech. The breech, face, and the striker firing pin of every firearm have microscopic individualities of their own. Second, every firearm leaves its fingerprint or thumb mark of every cartridge it fires. And the last, the whole principle of identification of shell is predicated or based upon the fact that since the breech face of every weapon with this individuality, the imprints of all cartridge cases fired from the same weapon are the same, and those on the cartridge cases fired different weapons are different. And that's all for lesson 6. Hope that you will understand. Thank you for watching and God bless.